Okay. Bit of background noise. It's blowing a fucking hoolie outside, and I got the workshop door open just to let some lot more light in. Better for filmage. Ta-da! I don't know about you, but I've been waiting a long time to work on this one. I've just got it out of storage, and I've been sat here for about 10 minutes looking at it, reminiscing about my youth. I worked in a Honda dealer in 1989. That's when I started my apprenticeship, and these were brand new. And I remember sitting in the lunch hour, eating me bag of chips, fucking mouth-watering, not because of the chips, looking at one of these things. Fuck, that's noisy. Stand by, I'm going to shut the door. Nice and bright in here anyway with the lights. Hopefully we won't get flickerage, but it won't be as noisy once that door's shut. Where was I? Yeah, this bike, holy fuck. It's my absolute favourite motorbike in the fucking world. I've been sat here having a brew, just looking at it, just remembering those days. I was 15, 16 years old. 16 years old. Don't make me do another take. Nah, fuck it. We're all friends, aren't we? I'm just gonna fucking waffle. You can just fucking go watch another video. Whatever. Don't care, to be honest. If you want to watch, watch. If you don't want to watch, fuck off ski. Yeah, they were the ultimate motorbike, basically, back then. You think back in 1989, what else did we have? GPZ 900Rs, GSXR 750s, Fireblade hadn't come out. You think what was around in 1989, and then this looking thing appeared. Hand-built by HRC. Just, I mean, it was the fucking bleeding edge of technology. And even by today's standards, what a fucking epic motorbike. Anyway, so it invokes a lot of emotion when I look at it. I remember, my teenage years when I was just fucking obsessed with motorbikes. The Isle of Man TT, Joey Dunlop. If you know, you know. And to have one with 5,300 miles on from new, I mean, there can only be, I don't know, but I can only imagine that there's a handful of these left in the world. There can't be that many left in this condition. It's fucking beyond rare. I just looked, there's a file with it that came with it. Got it out of storage. I've just been looking at the file that came with it, and there's an invoice from, which hopefully this bodes well. There's an invoice from 2001 for when it was sold for, I won't divulge the amount. Holy smoke. It's more than I paid for my first house, is what it sold for in 2001. Very, very, very valuable motorbike. Anyway, where am I going with this? So we got to get it going. It hasn't stood for 4 years. I'm hoping that when it was sold in 2001, which was only 4 years ago, it was completely up and together and running perfectly, etc. So this one might just turn into a full service, all the fluids, set of plugs, etc. It'd be amazing if we didn't have to take the carburetors off, because any of you that have worked on a V4, I mean, they're not all exactly like this, but certainly the Hondas, the angle of the cylinder heads and the angle of the inlet manifold rubbers, you've got to get quite physical with the carburetors to get the carburetors out of the V. So you need a certain amount of give in the inlet manifold rubbers. And I've looked, they're fucking unobtainium at this point. I can't even find any aftermarket ones. So there's a strong argument, right? Like with the other 3 motorbikes that we've done. Did I mention there's a playlist? They're all in there. Go look at the playlist that this bike's in. There are 3 other bikes we've been doing, super rare Japanese sports bikes. Like with the other bikes we've been doing, there's a very strong argument for stripping the carbs and replacing all the O-rings and bits and pieces to build in some reliability. But if there's any way I can avoid removing the carburetors, and now I've fucking said that, it's never going to happen and the carbs are going to have to come off. There's no wood anywhere. Fuck. Touch wood. Touch wood, they won't have to come off, but I think, now I've said that out loud, the universe is going to fucking punish me, isn't it? It'd be amazing if I didn't have to take the carburetors off, is what I'm saying. But we'll see. First thing I'm going to do, as with the others I think, is, I really want to lean on it, but it's got this sort of black oily dust all over it. Just a film everywhere where they were stored. So the first thing I'm going to do is give it a contactless wash. Just some Built Hamber Auto Foam, not Built Hamber. Yeah, Built Hamber Auto Foam. I was going to say Kosh Chemi Auto Foam, but that's not. Built Hamber Auto Foam. Put it on the screen now for you. Fucking brilliant stuff. I'm going to use that as a touchless wash. Just foam it everywhere. Maybe slight pokey with a detailing brush. And then just rinse it with a warm hose pipe. And then blow it off with a blower. Just before I start taking bodywork off. And then once it's in bits and all the bodywork's off, I'll give it a proper clean, the chassis and everything. And I'll clean the bodywork separately, and then it can, you know, we can seal the bodywork, polish the bodywork, seal it, put it all back on. At the end, fucking waffle, right. So I'm going to get it on the yard, I'm going to wash it. Let's get it back on the ramp, on a stand, and start gently taking it apart. Battery is either not there or completely flat. Let's just feel our way into it. I'm hoping it's just a fucking really good service is all it really needs. But we'll find out, won't we? Right. Work, Jim. Even more stunning now. What an absolute peach of a motorbike. I really do love that Built Hamber Auto Foam. It's flipping fantastic. I bang on about it all the time, don't I? I'm not sponsored, I wish I bloody was, but it is, for a touchless wash, I mean, I haven't touched this bike with a cloth or a detailing brush or anything, and 99% of the shmoo has come off it. It's squeaky clean. The dirt literally just falls off it, and as I previously said, that stuff is anti-corrosive too, so it doesn't. Anyway, it's not a review of fucking Built Hamber Auto Foam, is it? So it's squeaky clean, I've blown it off. Let's take it to bits. I think we'll start with the seat. Okay. That must come off, does it? Yes. Ooh, there's a toolkit in there. And then I need a number 3 JAS's, don't I? And a 10mm for the seat. Okay. Where's my 10mm? Right, let me get some gloves on. You're in the way again. That one's got a fibre washer on that side. Get some, see if I can get some of the original plastic washers. Yeah, they got fibre washers on them. That's not original. The screws have got a slight what's the word I'm looking for? A bit of a burr on them. Somebody hasn't used the right screwdriver. I might see they're probably available and not a lot of money. I'll get new screws wherever I can. If I think there's anything that isn't anything less than, move you to there, anything less than completely perfect, and I can, you know, I can make it better for a few pounds, then why wouldn't you? Interesting, having fibre washers on there. Right. I think that should just lift off, guys. So I'm going to clear, yes. Oh, of course we're going to have some wires, aren't we? Because the rear lights are in the seat unit. Marvellous. Interesting. Trying to get it in the light from the other side. It's slightly, yeah, it's out of shape. And actually I've just seen now there, see that sticker, this black line? That's not original, is it, like that? Huh, there's a thing. I wonder why. Let's have a look underneath that seat anyway. Underneath this seat, rather not that seat. Let's see what the rest of the bike looks like. I mean, it's exactly what you would expect. It's all really original. A bit sort of dusty, but I can, you know, I'll do my usual super duper clean GT85, make it beautiful. Is that the original toolkit? In like a denim. I can't do this one-handed whilst holding the camera. Yes, I can. No, that's never original, is it? Or is it? I don't know. Somebody will tell me in the comments. What's inside it, I wonder. How do I even get in it? Oh wow, look at that. That has been like that for so long. Oh, it's Velcro. Thought it was just smushed together. Somebody tell me in the comments if this is the original toolkit. I don't think it is. I think it would have been a normal plastic, you know what I mean? You know what you normally get with a Honda? One of those little plastic toolkits with a popper on it. But I don't know. Maybe this is how they were. It kind of... It sort of looks original, but really a ratchet? Nah, that's not Honda, fucking hell. And it's... Yeah, that is fucking chintzy. There's no way that's original. But then... No, it can't be, can it? But things like those pliers look like the sort of pliers you would get in your genuine Honda. What's that there? And the screwdriver. It's got motorbike toolkit written all over it. Oh, fuck me. Okay, I might need to eat my words. It says Honda on that spanner. Fuck, is that actually an RC30 toolkit? That's fucking nasty though, that quality. Or maybe I'm just looking at that casting there, but actually feels quite nice. It's got some gravity to it. Tell me in the comments, is that original? I would love to know. Right, fairing next. Just give you a look at the rest of it. All looks original, albeit slightly dirty. So it's a VFR750R. Battery is completely dead because it's still connected, but literally no ignition lights. Dead as doors nail off. It's weeing on the bench. Let me wipe all that up. Get this belly pan off, and the fairing, front fairing is all in one piece. Belly pan is separate and it's on these nice old school Zeus fasteners. Let's get its clothes off and then we can get a proper look at it. Right, a couple of screws as well, one there, one to the side. The belly pan is all one piece. Let me put my little anti-scratch device on the bench there, like that. Fucking hell, how long is that since that moved? Okay. Why are you so... Gonna have to undo that, aren't I? So it has got a bit of give in it. Tight though. Can you even see that in the shot? Yeah, sort of. I think what I need to do is order, because that's got a plastic washer on it and it's all a bit fucked. I'll just order new washers for all of them. Okay. Let's loosen the other side. Stand by. There's also some screws at the front here. Which I didn't know about, because I am, as much as I'd like to be, I am not familiar. Okay, I'm going to come down in one piece. Sorry, I'm in the shot. There we go. Thing is, how the fuck do I get that out from underneath there? Is he going to roll under? Oh my fucking god! I don't want to be ragging this round on the bench. I ain't going to fucking fit out of there. Oh, Jim! Right, you stay there for a minute, I'll fucking deal with you. If I lift the bike up, put something under the front wheel, if the ABBA stand wasn't there, I could, as good as the ABBA stand is, it's sort of in the way. Let's get, no, I need to deal with that now. Right, let's get something to go under that front wheel. Give myself a fucking hernia. Shouldn't be that heavy though, because it's pivoting from the ABBA stand. That'll do for now. Go under a bit more than that. There we go. Does that give me enough fighting room? Yes, it does. I'm going to need to do some cleaning. It's pretty horrible. I think what's happened is my auto foamers, all the shit's come off the, you know, the top, and it's all ended up in the belly pan here. It's all kind of, yeah. Well, it looks bloody lovely and clean under here. I thought, I'm obviously wrong, I thought it had HRC written on the clutch cover. I think I've imagined that. The other thing I noticed is, and I don't remember, but there's two. Can you see that? Is that exposed particularly well? Probably not. Let me get a pointy oil cooler in and out here, but the casting is just hasn't been machined. Interesting. It's got a heat exchanger type oil cooler on it instead, so the water flows. You already know, don't you? The coolant, it's like a radiator inside here. Lots of little flat plates. Oil on one side, water on the other, and the cooling system, coolant, the water, the coolant even, fuck's sake, Jim. The coolant runs through here, as does the oil. Heat exchange. So the engine coolant takes some of the heat out of the oil. Right, let's get the top fairing off. In fact, I think that might be premature. I don't really need to get the top fairing off, do I? Not at the moment, at least. Let's get that back down on the ground so it doesn't fall off. Let's get fuel tank off, which should be one bolt at the back and one pipe, and this breather. Fucking hell, that pipe's a bit hard. 10mm T-bar for there and a 12mm for the back. There's no fucking escaping it. I am going to have to get this pipe off here, aren't I, somehow? Let's try and get that clip out of the way. I don't want to... Oh, there we go. So I don't really want to make the pipe... Mark the pipe. Pretty sure that isn't original like that. Yeah, it's got... That's just heat shrink or something, isn't it? Over the top of it, I think. I don't fucking know. I'm not the expert. Right. 10mm. Incidentally, this fuel tank is, zoom you out a bit. Oh, the camera work is stunning, Jim. I think, what am I saying? I don't think I know that this fuel tank is aluminium. We had a look inside, didn't we, when we originally went to... Don't really smell of anything. Where's my torch? Yeah, it's fucking bone dry and absolutely... Alright, not absolutely spotless, but let me do a little video for you. It's pretty fucking clean in there, look. Oh, come on, focus down in there. You get the idea. It doesn't really need much of a clean out, does it? You've got to remember, these things they're quite different to a normal Honda in that they were all hand built. They're way more special than you might realise. They were hand built in their own facility at HRC, Honda Racing Corporation, that is, for those of you that don't know. Even the engines were hand built. Very, very fucking special motorbike. Okay, that's coming off. Is that a vacuum tap? I don't know. It might be. That looks like that might be a... Yeah, it is. That is a vacuum line. Get that off there. Actually quite rubbery still, these pipes, which is nice. And there's a breather too, look. You want to come off without a fight? Let's put your ignition key back in there. I should just lift off like that. Fucking hell, look at that. It's like a new one. Now we're getting to the meat of it. Fucking hell, look at that. It's completely unmolested. Holy smoke. It's like a fucking time machine. Let's get that airbox lid off. See what state the airbox is in. See what state the air filter's in. Fucking expensive if it needs an air filter. Number 2 JIS's. What have we got in here then? An air filter with any luck, Jim. Ooh, smelly. I got a real whiff of stale fuel then. That's not ideal. It's a little bit fucking minging. Let me get you a photograph, because it's going to be hard to film that. Well, you see from the picture, it's a long way off being fucking new, isn't it? Okay. I'm going to take this bit of the airbox off. Actually, no, I'm not. I said I'm going to take this. I was going to say I'll take this bit of the airbox off so I can see if the slides are stuck. But what I can do is take one of these caps off and let's pull the needle out. We'll see if the slide's free, and we can look at the end of the needle to see, yeah, if fuel was left in the float bowls, the end of the needle will be either stuck in the emulsion tube in the needle jet, or, you know what I'm saying. Fuck me. You know, I said that air filter was expensive. How is that fucking possible? Fucking hell, fire. to have a bit of a hunt around and see if that is it is available. So it's back order, but it's fucking hellfire. That is an expensive air filter. Okay, I need one though. Right, let's get those slide needles out and see what's going on with the carburetors. What's that? 12 millimeters? It looks, yes, it is 12 millimeters. It looks like 12 millimeters. Wowzers. Okay. Sorry, my head in the way. But the slide's nice and free. I need number 2 JASs to go in there. To do that. Oh, for fuck's sake, I thought the needle would come out with it. Alright, smart ass, how are you supposed to get that out? Little pair of pointy nose pliers then. I can't do it without getting my fucking head in the shot. There we go. Absolutely fucking spotlessly clean, look. Well, that bodes well, doesn't it? So here's what I'm going to do. Let's put you back in there before I fucking put you down somewhere like a set of fucking car keys and not find you ever again. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the new battery on it. I'm going to change the oil and the coolant. And I'm just going to... There's no way of getting that in the wrong place, is the O-ring on there, look. Nice and soft still. Fucking zoom you out a bit maybe. Do you want to be zoomed out? Or do you want to stay where you are? I don't fucking know. What was I saying? I'm going to change the oil and change the coolant. I think I'm just going to put fuel to it. Let's see what happens. Is what I'm going to do. I want to know whether these carbs are going to have to come off. Let's just see if it'll run as is. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, drop the oil, drop the coolant. Then I need to feed myself. I'm getting a little bit hangry. Right, I'll see you in a little while. Were you paying attention then? Because I clearly fucking wasn't. Jesus Christ, Jim. Oh God, and the needle's just fucking flown out. Let's start again, shall we? Put the needle in. Put the fucking retaining jobby what's it back in. Stupid boy. That's it. Okay. What I could do is just edit all that out and then look like I'm not a fucking idiot on camera. Where's the fun in that? Right. I don't know why I'm fucking seeing if that one's tight. I haven't touched it. Force of habit. Right, I'm gonna feed myself. I'm very fucking hungry and obviously losing concentration. See you in a bit. So I've had some food and a cup of coffee. Now I'm back in the game. Thankfully, no sign of any lock wire on that sump plug, which is a fucking good sign. What's the oil like? Fucking hell, brand new. Yeah, that's almost unused, I would say, but it's coming out of there. I've got some Motul 300V to go back in it. Liquid gold. It might as fucking well be the price it is. Right, oil filter off. To get the... What am I trying to say? I'm going to change the plugs. I've got a set of spark plugs for it. To get to the front cylinder plugs, the radiator's got to come either off or very out of the way. And given that I'm doing the coolant, I think I'll just take the radiator off, or the top radiator off, so I can easily get at it. Put some plugs in it, easy peasy. But to do that, I've got to take top fairing off. So let's do that next. Genuine Honda oil filter. What's the part number? Is it an MM9? Surely not. If you know, you know. Top fairing is pretty straightforward to remove. It's this big bolt in the bolt. Screw. Bolt or screw? We've had that debate. Screw. What did somebody say? They said if the thread goes all the way to the head of the whatever it is, it's a screw. If it's got a shank on it, if it's a bolt, I'm not buying it. Is that a screw or a bolt? Fucking hell, Jim. Squirrel. Yeah, so the fairing, are those fucking holes original? Yeah, they're to get to the headlight adjustment, I think, aren't they? Yeah, there's two more down there, look. Yeah, to get this top fairing off, hang on, I'm going to sneeze, stand by. It's coming. Oh, fucking hell, come on now. Oh, it's gone. It's like when you, you're going to do a hiccup and then you think about it and then you don't fucking do another one. What was I saying? Fucking hell, Jim, focus! To get this fairing off is easy. This bolt, the fucking mahoosive indicators have got to come off, which is one bolt on the inside, and the mirrors, and then the whole fucking thing just pulls off. Theoretically, oh, is there a little screw on the side piece? I don't know. Anyway, it's easy to get off. 10mm spanner for the mirrors. God, this thing is such a trip down memory lane. The way this reminds me again of my NSR 250. This fairing frame like this with these mirrors bolted on this way. Just don't get it anymore, do you? Not like this, at least. It's a nut, not a bolt, isn't it? Of course it is. It's like a little stud coming out of the back of the indicator. There's going to be a bit of wiring I'm going to need to fight with. Look at that clip. Orange and green. Oh, hang on a minute. There's 3 wires going to it. It's not a Jap import, is it? No, 2 wires. When I say not a Jap import, is it? You know, the Japanese ones had the indicators on permanently at the front. Do you remember? Trying to film it and go one-handed is a bit difficult. I'm going to come out of there. Down to fight. Yes. Fucking hell, they are comically massive, aren't they? They didn't seem out of place back in the early 90s, but by today's standards they look fucking ridiculous. Right, let's get this fairing off. Ugh. It's just as lovely under here. Yeah, it's all dead stock, dead original. Exactly what we want to see. So I want to get this top radiator out, radiator out of the way, so I can get the plugs in it, or get the plugs out of it. I'll probably just take the whole thing off, to be honest with you, rather than just, pretty sure I could, if I wasn't changing the coolant, I could probably loosen it and get enough access to the plugs to change them, but I think given that I'm changing the coolant anyway, I'll just fuck off ski it out of the way. See if we can spray coolant all over the fucking camera. That fucking washer's stuck on there, thank you. Now then, I can't reach the radiator cap, or can I? Maybe. No. Oh, Jim. Fuck it. I should have loosened the cap before. Ah, here we go. Stand by. It's coming. It's coming. There we go. Thank you. Fucking hell, cool, that looks brand new. It's having fresh. These are all unknowns at this point, so we'll give it a birthday. Do the brake fluid as well. Oil and filter, coolant, brake fluid, set of plugs, new air filter. And are we going through the carburetors? Maybe. There's a... Fucking hell, when stuff gets this... We've had this conversation with all the other 3 bikes, haven't we? The brakes on this feel absolutely perfect. They're not dragging, the levers are rock hard. There's still an argument for rebuilding the calipers with fresh seals. If you were going to use it in massive anger, I think you know, you're going to have it as a road bike, you'd probably want to do the caliper seals. But I keep going back to it, don't I? I don't want to spend the money unnecessarily. Brakes are going to be fine for a day of playing. I don't think there's any point in rebuilding the calipers. And again, you're keeping the originality, which I think is important for something like this. Not that you'd put aftermarket brake caliper seals in something like this, but you know what I'm saying. It's not really much of a job to get off. A couple of brackets, a couple of pipes. To be honest with you, I think we're probably taking the bottom one off as well, are we? Maybe not. If I put that bolt back in just to hold that in place. The one up there. What's that bracket do? Is that a... Oh, that's a bracket for this plastic panel as well. Okay, pipe, fan connector, a couple of hoses. Everything's nice and rubbery still. Makes me happy. That's going to have to come off there, isn't it? I think. Got another plug on it somewhere. Oh, I see. That goes... No, I don't see at all. Oh, it's that one there, look. That one is part of the whole radiator assembly. That can just stay like that then. That's the one into it. Let's get rid of this piece of plastic here. A couple more screws. On the back here. Makes it easier, doesn't it, if that's not there. Okay. Get at this pipe now. Zoom you in there a bit. Tool designed for this very purpose. Try and get it in there without scratching the paint on the radiator. Fucking hell, that is well stuck on there. Fucking hell, surely that's... Fuck me, is it glued on? Here we go. Oh. Flippin' heck. Why are you so tight? Fuck me. You're gonna make me go and get some GT85. Crikey. Right. Pliers. Move out of the way. Gonna be the same or not? No. That's it. That bottom one. God, I need a fucking cameraman. Can you imagine how nice it would be to just be able to actually get on with the work? And some of you have there are some awesome people that have said, "I'll come and be your cameraman for free." That's fine, and I appreciate that. But the reality is, as you're filming, you're sort of editing in your brain at the same time. And also, you know what, I might fucking, in the next 5 minutes, something might come up and I've got to fucking down tools and go and do something else. And you can't just have somebody fucking hanging around 24 hours a day just in case you might want to film something. It doesn't work that way. If I had a member of staff that could, you know, do other things and then at the drop of a hat pick a camera up, that might work, but I'm not in that position. So I appreciate your offering to help me, but practically just fucking wouldn't work. Plus I'm a miserable bastard and I don't really like having people around, if I'm honest. That's got a lot to do with it. I like to do my own thing when I want to fucking do it and not have to answer to anybody. I am completely unemployable at this point. Pretty much the same story this side, except I'm going to take that off before I undo that and get rid of the bracket. That's that gone. Coolio. That's a 10mm. That's not going to help, Jim. How have I fucking lost that already? There it is. You're right in my way. Again. Okay, that's got a little clampy clamp for that. That can just stay on there, can't it? It's got the, what's that? Oh yeah, it's old fashioned and it's got a speedo cable. Fucking hell, remember those days? Let's get rid of this pipe. Okay. Thank you. Okay, you're just going to slide out of there. Oh, you're weeing on the bench. Fucking marvellous. Don't do that. You bastard thing. Oh God, is something still connected on the other side? For fuck's sake! Let's bosh a bolt in there to hold it. It's one of the tank bolts, that. Rest there, please. Must just be getting caught on. Let me get a rag a second. I'm not liking the fact that it's so close to that front mud guard. Let's wrap you around there. Having a little wee on the bench. Let's get this bolt out of this side again. That's better. Fucking marvellous. Yeah, so all the... Literally, it looks super complicated, but the only electrical connection is that one. It's all sort of wired on itself, if you see what I mean. Very cool. Super easy access now to that. And what I think we'll do, I've got some new plugs to go in, obviously, which is why I've taken it off. While we're here, I'm going to put a bore scope in there and have a look. I mean, why the fuck wouldn't you? It's an extra 5 minutes. You might as well have a goosey gander in there. And it's also super easy to turn. There's a little plug here, so we can turn the crankshaft as well. Before we put a battery on it and try and send it, I think that's sensible. Well, let me get the plugs out and we'll do that. The rear plugs, I can get this one out. I can't get the other one out because this is in the way. This is a little catch tank for the crankcase breather. Normally the crankcase breather would come out of the crankcase or out of the rocker cover straight into the bottom of the airbox, but this has this catch tank in between. I would imagine there's probably some sort of baffling in here as well, so it breathes out of here out the top of this cam cover, and then there's a, see this other pipe, this is a drain back down into the crankcase, so any sort of liquid oil will find its way back down into the engine, and then the vapour is passed through to the airbox. I'll get this out of the way. It doesn't seem to be held on by anything other than the rubber pipes. So get that out of the way and then get these rear plugs out. So this little catch tank came out easy peasy. See, it's just held on with this pipe, and then there's some little rubber bits that rest on the frame. Yeah, oh look, you can see the moulding there. There is a baffle inside. Interesting. Okay, so looks pretty clean down in there. There was a bit of shmoo in that one. A bit of water in there. What's that? Oh, it's from when I washed it, isn't it? These plug caps aren't completely watertight. Okay. Plug spanner. That isn't a spanner. Ratchet. So I've got, as discussed, I've got new plugs for it. So we'll bosh the plugs in front and rear. Put the rad back on. Fill it up with coolant. Oil's drained, fresh oil, new genuine Honda oil filter. And then we'll CR9 EH9s, and I've got CR9 IX9, so I'm going to put some iridiums in it. But before I do that, let's get the bore scope and have a goosey gander, because it's so easy to do. Why wouldn't you? Get the front ones out, and then we'll get the bore scope on the job. Can't really moan about the compressor, can I? Well, I'm using the airline. Right, shit. Right, so get these out. Let's get the little cap out of the end of the clutch cover so we can turn the crankshaft. And let's have a goosey gander with a bore scope, and then I'll get it all back together. Fresh plugs, radiator back on, coolant. Not any real need for you to see that, is there? And then what I think I'll do is I'll just obviously put fresh oil in it, genuine Honda filter, like I said, and then I think I'm just going to put carbs to the fuel, put fuel to the carbs. Let's see if they leak. And if they don't leak, we'll put the new battery on and we'll try and fucking start it, I think. Be nice if it just ran perfectly, wouldn't it? What's the chances? Right, bore scopage. That's a 17. What size is it on the end of the crankshaft? It's not normally the same. Of course it is, now I've said that out loud. Okay, so first turn in a few years. That's the wrong way because I can hear the starter turning. You know, we're not expecting fucking anything, are we, with this at all? Okay, that feels lovely. Let's get the bore scope and have a look. That's fucking pretty clean in there, isn't it? Let's go in the hole. Oh, for fuck's sake, Jim. Let's do that. Sorry, I'm in the way. Ooh. I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect to see, isn't it? Let's turn it over and see. See those score marks? They just, if you looked at it with Mark 1 eyeball, it wouldn't, yeah. It's fine is what I'm saying. Let's have a look. So where are we on? We're on the that must have been the exhaust stroke, right? Because, oh no, that must be compression. I can't see any valves yet. So that would be the power stroke. So we're nearly at bottom dead center. Yeah, there we go, look. You can see the exhaust valves open. Get a better view of the other valve, maybe? Yeah, so they're the exhaust valves. So watch this now. So it looks like the pistons are going to hit the exhaust valves and then the valves start to close. Oh, pistons chasing the exhaust valves shut. So when you get valve float, which is, fuck, are we getting into this now? Valve float is when the spring loses control of the valves. So the engine's revving so hard, the camshaft moves away from the, you know, the cam is opening the valve, right? The cam, how to put it, the cam moves out of the way of the valve and the spring can't close the valve fast enough. And normally what happens when you over rev an engine and blow it up, it's an exhaust valve hitting the piston. So as the piston's coming up, you imagine this is happening super fast, the valve spring is pulling the exhaust valve closed. If the spring can't move the valve quick enough, let's say the camshaft's already rotated and there's a big valve clearance and the spring is trying to close the exhaust valve, what happens is the valve floats, the exhaust valve floats and the piston twats it. Did it make any sense at all then? And then we're on the induction stroke now, look. So that is what you would call the valve overlap. So, Christ, I didn't think I was going to get into this. So this is the exhaust stroke now. So the exhaust valves are open, the piston's coming up. It's pushing the exhaust gas out of the exhaust valve. Now, you might, I don't know whether we'll see it or not, but see the exhaust valve isn't quite closed. And the inlet valve's opening. Can you see? So there's a point in the stroke where the exhaust valve and the exhaust valve and the inlet valve are slightly open. So that now is the inlet stroke. So there's the inlet valves. So that's induction. And then as it starts to get to bottom dead center, the inlet valves are shutting, look. And it's back up, and that's compression. Spark plug would fire just before top dead center. That would be a power stroke. And then just before bottom dead center, we'll start to see the exhaust valves open before the piston gets to the bottom. There, look. Anyway, fucking hell, waffling. That looks fine. What about the other one? We might as well look at all of them while we're here. Get in the fucking hole. I'm going to have to go around the other side. No, I'm not. I'm going to stand in the way of the camera because I want to be able to turn it. And I've got to be this side. Let's go all the way round to the bottom. Yeah, fucking hell. I mean, it's exactly what you expected, isn't it? Exactly what you expected to see. Let's do the front while we're here quickly. Yeah, nothing to see here. Fucking famous last words. We'll look in the last one and there'll be no fucking piston in there. Same. Okay. That is bloody awesome. So, am I in shot here? I think I am. I'm just going to crack on now and I'm not going to film. I just need to get my head down and do a lot of it. So I'll get the new plugs in, I'll get the radiator back on, get some coolant in it, oil and filter, put the battery on it. I'll bring you back in when I'm about to put fuel to the carburetors. And then we might try and start it. Okay, I'm going to do work. I'll see you in a bit. Radiators all back on, all buttoned up nicely. It's full of coolant. got some oil in it, batteries on. What else? I think we're ready to start it. I've got my fuel supply hooked up but not on yet. What I thought I would do is try and crank it and get the oil light to go out before I put fuel in the carbs and have it potentially go under its own steam. I mean, the carbs might just piss fuel out everywhere, in which case, yeah, let's see if we can get that oil light to go out. I forgot to press play on the camera. It went out almost straight away. I had to fill the oil filter up, so it took, I don't know, 10-15 seconds of cranking, but fucking perfect. Right, let's connect the fuel up. Well, the fuel is connected. Let's turn the fuel on, see if it pisses fuel out all over the floor. I'm using the Storage Plus fuel for this. Oh, it's making some horrible noises. If I'd had any sense, I wouldn't have put the fucking air filter in. Did I say? I thought I'd just put the air filter on, the old air filter, to run it just for now. The air filter story, by the way, you know I said earlier on that the original air filter was 400 and something pounds, 420 pounds. CMSNL to the rescue, only 200 pounds for a genuine air filter, so I've got that on order, but I thought just for running purposes I'd put the old one back in. Okay, well that bodes quite well. No obvious signs of leakage. Yeah, if I had any sense, I would have not put the air filter in, and then I could have looked down the inlet track, couldn't I? But so far so good. Fucking, that's just mint. Needs a bit of a clean though under there. Right, let me get you a different angle and we'll try and send it. First start in, what, 5 years? Something like that. Full choke, contact. Oh, that's not on 4 cylinders. Come on, baby. Come on now. You alright, buddy?
Yes.
How was your day?
Good.
Good?
Good.
Any knowledge go in your brain?
Not really.
No?
Oh. This is the charger I use for the Nintendo.
That is the Nintendo charger. I stole it to charge my phone up.
You need it?
You can take it back in if you want.
I didn't know you had this.
Yeah.
Can you move this?
No, it's attached.
No, I didn't realise that.
See you in a bit. Love you. They pick their moments, don't they? Fucking hell, right, okay. It's not on all 4 cylinders. Come on now. Oh God, I'm going to have to take the carbs off you, am I? Fuck's sake. Just let it warm slightly. It won't take any throttle. Oh, come on now! Fuck it! seems to be on 4 cylinders, sort of idling. Although you know what V4s are like, they're weird. It's not like a 4-cylinder inline 4 on 3 cylinders. They sound weird, V4s, when they're idling. What I was wondering, which I don't think is the case looking at this, is whether they'd been, you know, it had been put away with storage fuel in the float bowl of the carbs, perhaps. And I was just trying to run it on that, because that just not taking any throttle is a bit of a weird symptom. But that is the, you'll be able to see it, that's the fucking hell, that's the storage fuel. Although there's a little bit of shmoo in the bottom, but there's no brown horrible stuff come out of it. Let me drain the others and I'll bring it back in again. Right, that's the carbs drained. What you can also do, can I, yeah, do that, like that. Can you see there? Because it's a race bike, there's a little removable plug in the bottom of the float bowl to enable you to get to change main jets without taking the carbs off. I want to see what the state, it's a good way of seeing what the state of the float bowl looks like without actually removing the carbs. I can get the fucking thing out. I want it to come out. There we go. It's absolutely fucking, ooh, what's that? Let's tip that into there, looks like water. It is, you can't fucking see it, can you, from there? It is pretty smeggy actually in the bottom of there. And it's fucking, I'm getting shot. The main jet is pulling from there. Oh God! I'm gonna have to have the carbs off, aren't I think? Down in there, look. The fuck is that? Some sort of fucking silty shmoo in the bottom. Oh God. I just didn't want to have that fight. But it looks like I'm having it. This is definitely the end of part 1. If not the end of fucking part 2. See you on the next one, boys. At least we heard it running, sort of. Like and subscribe and all that bollocks. I appreciate all of you. If you want to be really helpful, join the Discord. Give us your fucking money, you tight bastards. Right. See you later.